Hello everyone, this is Mr. Rain, and today I am finally getting back into Insurgency Sandstorm. And Insurgency Sandstorm is a game that I really wish I could talk more about and be happy about it, but right now I'm really mixed into it because the game is not finished, it's not really done. I know it's out there for $30. I know that it's not in early access or it's not in a beta. It's the full build. The thing is that if you know NWI and you know how they worked previously in the original Insurgency 2014 title, then you would know that they continue to give out updates every so often, free of charge, as a way to update the game and keep things up to date. That's going to happen with this game just as well. So if there's something that you don't like, something that you see that just doesn't stick right or doesn't look right, you know that sometime in the future, NWI is going to make a change. Sometimes good, sometimes bad. You just don't really know until they actually finish making that patch. And that's right now the problem that I'm having. I feel that right now the game is just a little too all over the place in regards to what it wants to accomplish. The biggest thing that I have right now is trying to figure out how the ADS works in Insurgency Source, which you'll see footage of here. I'm able to lock on to any target with ADS pretty much any time with very little exception. And then on Sandstorm, there are times where the animation feels weird, it doesn't feel consistent. I don't know what it is that's throwing me off, but there are times here and there that just doesn't feel perfect. It doesn't feel like it's how it should be. And another thing to add to that is that the hit registry also feels a bit off. I don't have footage of that, unfortunately, but I did play a competitive round with a few friends, and I shot a guy. I had him. I was watching the doorway before he even showed up. He showed up, I shot him. As I was shooting him, he zigzag shot right back at me, and I was the one that died. And I can guarantee you that my sights were directly on him, and my shots were right on him as well, but for whatever reason, the game decided that my shots didn't matter. So, that's something that also has to be worked on as well. These are essentially the issues that we're coming against. It's a good game in most aspects, but at the same time, there are things that really throw you off. If you're from Source and you're playing Sandstorm, it's going to feel a little bitter. It's going to feel weird. It's going to feel very weighted. And if you're playing from any other game, you may think that it feels quirky or it feels perfectly fine. It depends on the type of games you're playing. I've been trying to talk to people in the community, and there are people defending the game, saying that it's okay, it's fine the way it is. If you ever play a game of Squad or Arma, then you're never going to complain about how Sandstorm feels. The thing is, Sandstorm is not Squad or Arma. Sandstorm was never designed to be Squad or Arma, and that was never the design for Insurgency. Insurgency was always designed to have realistic aspects, but at the core of the gameplay was still going to be semi-arcadey. And that's very important because you can't not introduce movements that are too weighted, because then that slows down the game and you're making the game a lot more towards the realism side than the arcade side. And I'm perfectly fine with the game being more difficult if that includes adding more realistic aspects to it. But when you're talking about a game where you can lose it just because you don't cap a point, just because you're not on an objective and you need to run to get there, you cannot be punished for making quick reactions or making a quick movement. And that's what I feel like is happening in Sandstorm. So right now, I'm just stuck here in the middle thinking, do I like it? Do I not like it? I'll do all I need is some a little more time. Do I just have to wait for another patch to see how they're going to rework any system, if they rework any of it at all? Does the animation just need to be smoother? Does the animation need to be quicker? I don't know. I'm just telling you my feedback. It's a great game, but there are things that I used to do in Source that I cannot replicate in Sandstorm. And there are situations in Source that I can get out of that I simply cannot in Sandstorm. Anything that I do in Sandstorm that is remotely similar to what I've done in Source, I have had to work twice as hard in order to do so. And yeah, that's really my gripe right now. I think it's something with the movement and the animations and the ADS. Those three things have to be refined. If they're not, it's going to be very difficult for me to recommend the game. It's going to be very difficult for me to continue playing the game. I'm going to play it little by little to see if I can get used to it at all. I've already am getting somewhat used to it, but by doing so, I've had to slow down my gameplay a whole lot. A lot more than I would have expected coming from Source. So, these are my thoughts right now. If you want to play the game, if you want to buy the game, I'm just going to let you know this is my gripe with it right now. But do know that this is not the final product, this is not the final version. There's going to be more updates in the future. The one thing that I am looking forward to the most is mod support. The moment mod support comes out, I'm going to be happy because then there's going to be people out there that love Insurgency Source. There's going to be people out there that love the way that Source felt, the snappiness of it, and the arcade elements that Source had. And I hope, and I really hope that someone in the modding community will make a transformation mod that returns some of those arcade aspects from Source into Sandstorm. So I'm really hoping that that does take off for two things. One, that it happens, and two, that it takes off. Because then I won't have to worry about how Sandstorm feels anymore. I can just play the mod. And that's really my expectations for right now. Hopefully NWI will do something that makes the game feel smoother than what it does now in regards to that. The only other thing that I want to mention is that there are still people who are experiencing performance issues, and to some extent I can agree with you. There are places in different maps where you will dip in frame rate. There's, I believe, in spawn of one of the maps, I can't remember which one. If I looked in one direction, I had 120 frames per second. If I looked in the other direction, I had 60. It would drop all the way down to 60. And 60 still being perfectly playable, but that's still a very dramatic drop. And I can understand that on a weaker system or on a more mid-range system, that kind of a drop can really decimate your entire experience. So just do note that there are things here and there that do have to get worked on, and that the game, if you're expecting a finished product, don't. If you're expecting a work in progress game where it's only going to get better over time, then you can go ahead and buy it now. Think of it as somewhat of an investment and just getting to learn the game and learn the maps ahead of time while you're waiting for these patches. So that's really about it. Insurgency Sandstorm, it's out there for $30. If you want to play it, like I said, I don't hate the game. I like the idea of the game and all that, but right now it's not exactly where I want it to be. And it doesn't have to be exactly where I want it to be. It does need to give in a little bit, just a little bit. And so if you're fine with just learning how the game works right now, or you don't care and you just want another shooter, or you want those realistic aspects, then go ahead and jump in, be my guest. I hope you guys enjoyed Insurgency Sandstorm, and all I can do is hope that it gets better in the future. This is Mr. Rain, and I'll see you guys next time.